Nearly 24 relatives of the Menendez brothers publicly pleading for Lyle and Erik's freedom, trying to harness the recent public obsession with the brutal double murder case from 35 years ago, pushing for the court of public opinion to help influence the real court's opinion.
The truth is, Lyle and Erik were failed by the very people who should have protected them, by their parents, by the system, by society at large.
An emotional plea from 92-year-old Joan Vandermolen, Kitty Menendez's sister. Kitty and her husband Jose were gunned down in their Beverly Hills home by their sons, Erik and Lyle. Today, more than 20 family members of the Menendez brothers taking a dramatic step trying to win the brothers' freedom 35 years after the murder case that captivated the nation.
If Lyle and Erik's case were heard today, with the understanding we now have about abuse and PTSD, there is no doubt in my mind that their sentencing would have been very different.
The unprecedented public push urging Los Angeles District Attorney George Gascon to recommend resentencing for the brothers who are currently serving life sentences without parole.
I believe they have paid for their crimes, and we as a family have all suffered enough.
What's the problem? What's the problem? Someone killed my parents. Pardon me? Someone killed my parents.
It was from the jump one of the biggest cases in Los Angeles and in the country. No one could believe that these two young men had killed their parents this way.
It was the shocking Beverly Hills double murder. A prominent husband and wife gunned down by their own children in cold blood.
Entertainment executive Jose Menendez and his wife were slain in the family room of their Beverly Hills mansion.
Their sons burst in on them and opened fire repeatedly, over and over, shotgun blasts to all parts of their body.
Erik and Lyle Menendez, the sharp-jawed, brooding brothers, convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the heinous crime.
There was something deeply evil about it that scared people.
I'm just a normal kid.
Oh, Erik, you're a normal kid who killed your parents.
Yeah, I know.
They get life without the possibility of parole in their 20s. You are going to die in prison.
How they killed their parents, Jose and Kitty, was always clear. Why they did it has always divided and riveted the nation.
Remember, this was not a whodunit. This was why.
Physical, verbal, psychological, sexual abuse that went on for years.
Lyle and Erik Menendez are stone-cold murderers. Abuse does not justify a revenge killing. Never, 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 ever.
There are some who argue that the sex abuse was fabricated.
Sure they do. They don't want to admit the truth. They were afraid that Jose really would kill people.
If Jose was with one of the boys down the hallway, you were not allowed to go down the hallway. That, to me, is chilling.
Now, in the eyes of many, the Menendez brothers have seemingly gone from public enemies to victims, all as a powerful movement builds online to set the brothers free.
5 to 10 years would have been enough. They didn't need to do life without parole. Giving all the love I feel for you.
Young people today want to stand up for victims of abuse.
Prison reform advocate Kim Kardashian and actor Rosie O'Donnell, who's friends with the brothers, are calling for their release.
They were not horrible kids. They were severely, sadistically tortured by a pedophile predator father and a very compliant and also involved mother who had no interest in them.
We talked to family members and lawyers trying to free them as the country re-examines every facet of the case.
Did your father have sexual contact with you?
Yes.
Lyle even speaking to ABC from prison over the years.
My name is Lyle Menendez. I am the kid that did kill his parents, and no river of tears has changed that, and no amount of regret has changed it.
The Menendez brothers' saga now being looked at through a modern lens, at a trauma barely understood at the time, that men could be sexually abused too. A reality explored by the former psychiatrist who treated the brothers way back in the 90s.
In the 80s and 90s, the public had very little knowledge about this type of sexual abuse, especially fathers abusing their own sons. Back then, there were many people that just dismissed this outright.
I don't think in the 90s the world was ready for this type of case, especially the graphic nature of the description of sexual abuse.
I have always thought that if the Menendez brothers were the Menendez sisters, they'd be free today. Would have been convicted. But an abuse victim often gets some kind of clemency.
The pressure continues to build. Now a fresh legal filing with even more distressing details of Jose Menendez's alleged abuse, including a handwritten letter the brother's attorneys say Erik Menendez wrote to his cousin.
I knew immediately that it was a potentially major piece of evidence.
And another alleged victim of their father, a former member of the band Menudo, speaking out in a Peacock documentary.
Yes, that's the man here. That raped me, this guy.
This does support that Jose Menendez was a sexual predator, not only with his children, but with other people's children.
This is done. This is done. You understand? No more between you two. And you are never to touch him. Not ever.
3 decades after that gruesome real-life crime, a popular Netflix series is transfixing viewers with its heavily dramatized take on the murders and outlandish accusations of an incestuous relationship between the brothers.
Erik and I killed our parents together, so I'd say that makes us pretty close.
Turning the Beverly Hills mansion where it all happened into a tourist destination.
It's incredible how this case has jumped back into the news. It's incredible that I'm even talking about it. You know, I had forgotten about this case.
This is not a child abuse trial. This is a murder trial.
But some, like former LA Times journalist Alan Abrahamson, who covered the trial, still believe the brothers killed for money and that the jury got it right, given their lavish spending spree.
The parents were sitting in the den watching TV. Did they have any weapons? No.
I thought that when Lyle described the killing of his mother, that a normal jury would find it reprehensible and convict him. You know, we loved our mother. Oh yeah, really? You loved your mother? You blew her up.
Kitty's brother, Milton Anderson, agrees the brothers should not be released, saying in a statement, when Erik and Lyle Menendez executed their parents, Kitty and Jose Menendez, they not only cut short 2 lives, they also shattered an entire family. And that their motive was pure greed.
Erik Galen Menendez, M-E-N-E-N-D-E-Z.
This was appointment television. It was these 2 young, good-looking men accused of this horrific crime with this even more horrific defense.
At the time, the brothers were often mocked and ridiculed in the media, lampooned on shows like Saturday Night Live.
And can you tell the court who did murder your parents?
Our other 2 brothers, Danny Menendez and Jose Menendez Jr.
Looking back on the SNL skits that we all laughed at, I'm a little disgusted, if I'm being honest. Sexual abuse is no laughing matter.
Rosie O'Donnell, who sees herself as a big sister to Lyle and Erik, says she herself was sexually abused as a child. When you watched their testimony, what went through your mind?
My body got all shaky, my stomach was all nervous, and my eyes filled with tears, and I knew they had lived through it. I knew it. You cannot fake it. It's a coat of shame no one wants to wear.
Do you think the Menendez brothers will walk free someday?
Look, I believe, right, that given the totality of the circumstances, I don't think that they deserve to be in prison until they die, okay? I don't believe that.
You know, my hope is to have them over for Thanksgiving dinner.
The DA has set one hearing date for November of 2024.
I think it's far too much punishment. They were punished just by being with that man all those years and having their mother ignore it.
24 family members agree, including Karen's mother, Kitty Menendez's sister, who's leading the efforts.
Garrigo said he hopes they come home for Thanksgiving.
And I want that so badly because my mother's birthday is 3 days before, and she'll be 93. And my mother has been their biggest advocate, and that would be the best birthday present to give to my mother, would be to have her nephews home with her on her birthday at Thanksgiving.
And for more on this story, watch Impact by Nightline's Menendez brothers, monsters or victims? Now streaming on Hulu.